Welcome to the Wrestling Replay. I am Kato here with your Monday Night Raw replay of the week. Alright, we are one day removed from the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Another really good pay-per-view on behalf of WWE. They look like they really appear to be finishing off the year strong. So I enjoyed the pay-per-view thoroughly. The tag team match between New Day and the Street Profits, that was the best match of the night to me. But I can also see that Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre being another really good match. That was number 2 for myself. Now, in this video, we're going to go ahead and jump into Raw, but we're going to do things a little bit differently. Alright, I'm going to talk about pretty much the important chunk of Raw, the real meat of the show. But first, I want to talk about the match that opened up Monday Night Raw, which was the tag team champions, the New Day, defending their titles once again against the Hurt Business. Now, this match came about because the Hurt Business pretty much seen an opportunity to go ahead and jump on the beat up champions. They just had a big brutal match against Street Profits, so they knew that they had the upper hand. So they pretty much baited them into a tag team title match, and the New Day fell for it, being the fighting champions they are. They went ahead and defended their titles. This was a rematch. This is the third time these guys fought on Monday Night Raw. Now, this was yet again another really good tag team match. But at the end of the day, the tag team champions just have that one up on the Hurt Business. I'm waiting for MVP to actually really get involved and help his team win the titles. Help them actually get over that little hump that they can't get over right now. I'm surprised he didn't interject himself in the match a lot more. This match actually ended once with the Hurt Business winning the match via countout. But they knew they would not be able to take on them titles, so they actually called the champions back down to the ring. The champs looked like they was ready to just take the titles and go home. They were beat up. Kofi was beat up early in the match. He came back in after they restarted the match and took another big bump on his knee. It didn't look like he landed too well, but he fought through it. We have to see exactly what happens going forward, if that knee was really affected or if it was just a work. But it did look like he landed a little bit nasty on that knee. Now, if I was the Hurt Business, what I would have done was actually took my count out victory. But I believe they thought they had the New Day beat. In their mind, they thought, okay, we worked on Xavier Woods early in the match, and now we have Kofi who's hurt. We can continue to work on Kofi, and we should be able to put the champions away. Now, if they would have just took that count out victory, they would have definitely set themselves up for another title shot, maybe next week on Raw or at a pay-per-view, at the TLC pay-per-view. But ultimately, it was the New Day pushing through, fighting forward, and able to get that pin, so they retained their titles. Now, when Raw first kicked off, we had every member of the Survivor Series team, a team where no one was eliminated, mind you. Everyone is in the ring, and Adam Pearce is saying, look, we have to look for a new #1 contender, and what better place to look than these 5 men right here who really represented the brand last night at Survivor Series. So there was a series of matches that went into place. Well, hold on. In the midst of that whole, trying to determine the #1 contender, everyone got to pretty much stake their claim of why they believe they should be the #1 contender. Braun Strowman went above and beyond and actually headbutted Adam Pearce. So that, kind of knocked him out of the category of being selected, and he was actually removed from the arena. Not sure what they have in store for him, but right now I don't see him in any type of title hunt, at least until next year. Now, we did get a series of really good matches. We got Riddle and Sheamus. That was a really good match. And it didn't go as expected. I thought Sheamus was going to actually come in and pull off the victory, especially seeing as though him and Drew McIntyre have been showing some rapport in the past couple of weeks, like they was going to build up to something. But no, Matt Riddle was actually able to come out and get the win over Sheamus, and that now he got to advance to the triple threat match next week, and the winner of that triple threat match will be the #1 contender for the WWE World title. Now, Drew McIntyre get a nice little break. What this also allowed the WWE to do and their creators to do is have time to write a really good storyline. Now, let's think about it. He beat Randy Orton, okay? They knew he was going to beat Randy Orton, so now you have 1 week of that. You had 1 week where he came on SmackDown, you had the week of Survivor Series, and now you have the week of right now. and the week of next week. So that's 5 weeks that you had to pretty much to write a solid storyline. So I'm looking for whoever they decide to be the number contender, that a really good story is going to actually follow. Next, we had Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley. Now, this was a match that I have wanted to see. If you look back at my Survivor Series video, which was yesterday, then you knew in that video I mentioned I would like to see someone like Keith Lee or Braun go after Bobby Lashley for that United States title. Now, this match did end in a disqualification with Keith Lee picking up the win. Bobby Lashley had a tough time locking in that hurt lock, man. Keith Lee's just too big. He's a really big guy. It pretty much led to an interference by MVP. It looked like he thought that Lashley was not going to be able to get the job done. It looked like he lost a little bit of confidence in Bobby Lashley. Now, that says a lot, because Bobby Lashley is their front runner of the Hurt Business. He's their #1 guy. If you don't believe that he can get over the hump to the point that you interject yourself in the match and cause him a disqualification, I don't know where we go from here. I don't know if Bobby Lashley will ever reach that WWE World Title threshold again. Now, in Bobby's defense, he wasn't pinned. He didn't tap out. He wasn't counted out. It was a disqualification. Both men during the time was actually still, kind of recovering when MVP made his way into the ring. But this could be something that we definitely see in the future. So I would not be surprised if they're actually setting up Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley for that United States title. Hopefully Keith Lee can take that title away from Lashley, and we can get some good Raw matches with Keith Lee defending that belt week after week after week. Now, for the last member to enter that triple threat match, we had a match in our main event with AJ Styles and Randy Orton. This was a pay-per-view quality match. If you sat down and watched this match, this was a really, really good match. It was a really strong ending to the Raw show with storyline with storyline advancement. All right. Now, just when Randy Orton started to take control over the match and looked like he was ready to put away AJ Styles, The Fiend interjected himself in the match not once but twice. The first time with Randy outside the ring, The Fiend just kind of popped up at the barricade and then disappeared when the lights came back on. Randy was still able to recover and regain control over the match. Just when he looked like he was going to put AJ Styles away again, the lights went out one more time, with The Fiend popping up on the apron this time right beside Randy Orton. Now, when the lights went out, of course, The Fiend was gone again. But this left the opening AJ Styles needed to hit the phenomenal form on Randy Orton for the 3 count, and AJ Styles will be advancing to that triple threat next week. So we're going to get AJ Styles, Matt Riddle, and Keith Lee. Now, outside looking in, of course, I think AJ Styles would be the man to go on to face Drew McIntyre for the #1 contender. Look how they have been building him up since he came to Raw. They've been building up like the man. He's been undefeated on Raw. He has a new bodyguard. This is the perfect timing to put him into that world title picture. Now, if he wins, that's a different story. But nonetheless, I think he is the guy that you would have to go and pick to face Drew McIntyre right now. That does leave me with Matt Riddle and Keith Lee. Now, I do see Keith Lee going to go capitalize on the fact that, hey, I beat Bobby Lashley, I beat the United States champion, and if I do not get a world title shot, I would love to go get a singles title shot and face Bobby Lashley. Matt Riddle, that puts him in a really good place as well. Not only did he beat a former champion in Sheamus, but he qualified for a triple threat match against pretty much the future of Raw. So there's have to be a big push at some point for Matt Riddle. So I would like to see what that's going to be and what they're going to do with Matt Riddle going forward. I would still love to see him and Jeff Hardy. These two guys are oozing charisma. The fans love them. They're very entertaining. I would love to see these two guys team up and go after those tag team titles with the New Day. I think that match will actually be pretty good, matching these two teams up. Now, my only gripe is that we got to see the New Day and the Hurt Business 3 times on Raw. So I would never want to see that on the pay-per-view. I don't see how that match can get any better than the matches we've already seen. So I would hate for them to just redo the same match again on a pay-per-view. That's kind of like a waste. The Keith Lee and Lashley, I like that because it can set up for a lot of things. I also like the fact that MVP got Bobby Lashley disqualified, because that can also set up tension inside of the Hurt Business. But for now, I think they should keep the Hurt Business because they're actually entertaining. You can't tell if they're heels, you can't tell if they're faces, especially with the last few matches that they've been in. But remember, they did fight off Retribution, and Bobby Lashley did appear to be the face in that Sami Zayn match. Now, we did have some other matches on Raw. We did get to see Asuka defeat Lana again, even though it was disqualification, but the championship was on the line. Now, this is the second title match that Lana has gotten on Raw for this women's title, and she lost yet again, which leads me to my earlier statements of, there's no way you're going to make Lana into a believable face that's going to actually start picking up win after win after win when she's so timid, and you know, she really doesn't want to get in there and mix it up with too many people. Plus, the champion holds so many victories over Lana already. But that did lead to a match with Asuka and Lana and Nia Jax and Baszler, because Asuka was attacked at ringside by Jax and Baszler, who's on commentary during the match of her and Lana. Now, that did lead to a tag team match, and the match resulted in Asuka pinning Baszler. Now, if you remember, or if you heard before in my prior videos, I said there's no way Lana's going to be the ultimate babyface. The ultimate babyface will be whoever comes to save Lana. Now, right now, that appears to be Asuka. It's appearing that Asuka is going to be the saving grace for Lana going forward. So this is going to put Asuka in that ultimate babyface role, especially if she's going to be the one that's fighting off all the Lana bullies. Right now, she only has 2, and they did win in a tag team match. So we'll have to see where that storyline goes. If they're setting up something where Asuka will be facing Nia Jax or Baszler in a one-on-one for their title, for her women's title, we'll have to see. I would love to see her and Baszler go at it again. Even though last time Baszler, when she was on the road and she fought Asuka, she put Asuka out, put Asuka away with ease, man. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what route they want to go as far as that. But Lana's not the one, man. I think Asuka's going to be the one to come and save her. Maybe you can still get another superstar to come in as well. Maybe Rhea can come up, Rhea Ripley can come up, or Charlotte Flair can make a reappearance to the WWE Raw roster. We also got to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in the match. Now, this was interesting because we finally got to see Alexa Bliss in, I assume, her new role, her new character. Just like Bray Wyatt has a new character. He's not the Bray Wyatt from the Wyatt family. He's more of this, you know, lunatic type character where he's happy and then angry the next. You know, he reminds me of Hugh Morris. You know, if you remember WCW days, Hugh Morris had this same type of persona. Alexa Bliss seemed to take on the same exact persona as Bray Wyatt is right now, where she's playful 1 minute, she's serious the next. She'll use your emotion against you. You know, she broke down and cried in the match with Nikki, and Nikki, you know, of course, played on her emotions. She went to go comfort Alexa, and Alexa pretty much put her away that way. So it's going to be interesting to see who they pair Alexa Bliss up and what angle she's going to go. Is she going to go for a Raw title? Is she just going to be behind The Fiend and Bray Wyatt as more of a manager role? How many more matches is she really going to have? So that's going to be very interesting going forward. That was pretty much your Raw replay of the week. It was a solid Raw episode coming off a really good pay-per-view and Survivor Series. I can't wait to see what they set up for the TLC pay-per-view. Nonetheless, let me know what you guys think of this episode of Raw. Did you like who advanced to the triple threat match for next week? What do you see Asuka and Lana doing with the tag team champions? Will they go for the titles? Will Asuka be facing Shayna Baszler or Nia Jax for her title? What do you like about Alexa Bliss or dislike about Alexa Bliss and her new current role and the way her character is being projected right now? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you can hit me in the DM. I respond to both. And if you haven't already, please like and smash the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you get an alert anytime we drop a video. Now, we will be introducing a new segment to the Wrestling Replay channel. Well, we have a few that's coming up, but one sooner than later. Probably next week sometime. If not next week, definitely by December. So we'll have a new segment, a new weekly segment that's going to run about maybe 45 minutes to an hour long. So don't miss that. That'll be another opportunity for you guys to win some merch. All you have to do is like and comment on as many videos as possible so we see your name and you can go ahead and win some merch from us. All right. This was your Raw replay of the week. I am Kato, signing out. Peace.